All right, we got 2 minutes to go time, so I figure I'll put my camera on. How are you all doing this morning? Change my camera. I'm looking in a funky position, aren't I? Light's a little bright in my office. Back it up a little too. Boop, boop. Isn't that the sound trucks make when they back up, or is that just me? How is everybody doing this morning? So good to see so many of you jumping on. We will officially start, of course, at the top of the hour, but I just wanted to make sure I said hi and see how everyone's doing before we jump into how to get people to listen to your ideas, part 2. Clearly, I've decided that I'm enjoying 2-part series because we did that last week too. So, hey, let me know if that is something that you like too, because if it is, hold on one second, I just got to check something here. I feel like I'm like slowing down. Hold on one second, sorry. If you like the 2-part series too, sorry about that. I just totally digressed into a tech thing, which is like, what is happening? Do you ever have that where you're like, you look and you're like, what is going on? Share this, give me a second. Okay, hopefully that worked. I am loving the 2-part series. Hey, Dennis, good morning. Paul, good morning. Good to see you all. Sarah, good morning. I love the 2-part series because it actually allows me to dig a little bit deeper into some topics as well. And I think this one that we're going to cover today is an important one. So I'm glad you're here to have this conversation with me because, like I said, I think it really matters. Let me move my camera yet again. Okay. Hey, Kirby, good morning. So good to see you all. I'll tell you, our community just keeps growing and growing. I can't tell you how impressed I am with the number of people that we just keep getting to sign up every week. So that tells me that we are covering the right topics that are helping you solve those challenges and create breakthrough ideas, shift your mindset, accelerate some success. That's kind of the goal here, right? Is to tap that power of innovation, which truly is all of our competitive advantage. And, you know, I was just talking to some girlfriends this weekend and they said to me, Tamara, why do you think your stuff works? Why do you think it resonates? Now, that is a question for you to answer, not for me, to be honest. So hopefully I got it right. But what I said was, you know, I think part of the reason is, first of all, we attract the right people, people with a growth mindset, people who are looking to really make an impact and have their voice heard, who know they have something on the inside that can solve their problems and create those solutions, but they just aren't quite sure how, or maybe don't have the right framework. But I said the other part is, I think, and I got a lot of flack for this in the beginning of my career, is I think we make it personal, real, and tangible for people. This is not about fluffy innovation. This is not about subjective innovation. This is not about kind of high floating concepts. This is about how you innovate and how you can do more, how you can innovate and make an impact and accelerate what you're trying to achieve. So I guess I kind of say that to preface because I know there's a lot of new people that have been joining us recently, as well as those of you on here who, you know, I see you every week, which makes me so happy. So let's dig into today's, Kirby said, I agree, the short bursts are great. Yeah, well, look, we learned in nuggets and none of us have an hour. So let's learn something and then get to it and put it into practice and see the results. So why don't, Kirby, that was a great jumping off point. Why don't we do that? Here's what I want to talk about today. Why people don't listen to your brilliant ideas, why your innovation is not heard. And especially when the ideas are brilliant, when you know you figured out that solution to that sticky challenge, when you know you've got something that could lead to new markets, new opportunities, new partnerships with the clients you already have, more revenue, all of that. Why still do the people on the other side of the table not listen? I've got a couple stories for you. And then I've got what I discovered was an aha that actually allowed me to completely change that and to get that buy-in and get that traction on my thinking. So I think we've all been in those meetings where we stand up in front of the group, right? Or it could be one person too, by the way, but I'm going to relive a story for a moment, but we stand up in front of that group and we've got our beautiful PowerPoint presentation and we know this is the right solution. Maybe we didn't sleep the night before because we're so excited to share it. We get up there, we've got the people who we need at least to give us the green light to move forward. And we share our thinking and it falls flat, right? They don't get it. They didn't buy into it. They didn't see the brilliance in it. maybe you got the green light, maybe not, but you didn't get buy-in. That's for sure. Most likely you didn't get the green light. How many times have we been in that situation? Or we're in a brainstorm and we're trying to solve something, or just in a meeting and we say, well, what about this? And people don't get it. It falls flat, right? I think there's two sides of the coin to innovation. And I think it's important that we talk about both. In fact, in our tribe, in the membership tribe, for those of you that are on here that are in there too, we're going to dig deep into how to not just have more ideas, be more innovative, but how to communicate those ideas in a way that gets buy-in. There's a lot of tricks of the trade that I've discovered over the years, sometimes the hard way, around this. So I've had those experiences, right? Where I'm presenting my ideas, whether that's formally or informally, and nobody's getting it. So let me share a story with you about, let me just grab these really quickly. Post-it notes, okay? Can you see those? Post-it notes. These are my favorite thing in the world. So here's how the story goes. Art Fry, who's the inventor of the Post-it note at 3M, everybody knows he wasn't looking for the Post-it note. He was looking for a strong adhesive. And then, you know, he realized one day that he was onto something else. But here's how the story goes about how it went from Art Fry realizing he was onto something to actually being a commercialized product. And I think this part is a little surprising. So Art Fry goes to leadership and says, hey, like, I've got this thing called sticky notes now, or whatever he called them. And, you know, this is a viable product idea. Leadership turned it down. They did not see the brilliance in his idea. They did not see the brilliance in his thinking. So he sat back and he said, wait a minute, what do I do here? I could just shut it down. They're the people I need buy-in from. But no, here's what Art Fry did. He went, he created a bunch of sticky pad notes and then notepads, and then he gave those to all the administrative assistants, the right hands of these leaders. And they used them and they used them, and then they ran out and they called Art Fry and they said, we need more. And he said, no. And you better believe when those sticky notes went out the door, those people went to their bosses, their leadership team, the people they supported, and said, we need these. These are brilliant. That is how leadership bought in to sticky notes. So that's how the story goes. Now, here's the deal. That story's been told over and over again. I couldn't find like 100% proof of it. So I wanted to do my own test. So when I was running a consulting firm as brand strategy and innovation, new product development, I decided to see if the sticky note really was that powerful and what it was like when people had things taken away from them, when they felt pain. And I want you to hold on to that thought of feeling pain. We're going to come back to that. And so I went out and I took all the sticky notes in my office and I hid them all. So it was a team of 12, right? There's sticky notes everywhere. I took them all. I took them out of the supply closet. I took them off desks. I took them out of the conference room. I took every sticky note you can imagine. And then I went to my team in the very beginning and I said, hey, I have an idea with sticky notes. And they were like, meh, wah, wah, right? I didn't get the buy-in for this idea. 24 hours later, they are mad running around the office looking for sticky notes. You would have thought I took away their iPhones. Like, it was incredible. People were panicking. So I got them back onto the conference room for our kind of group huddle meeting. I threw the sticky notes on the table, and you guys, it was like a game of Hungry Hippo broke out. They were grabbing sticky notes like nobody's business. Then I presented my ideas for sticky notes for us in that moment. And guess what happened? I got buy-in for it. I got buy-in for the idea and the way I wanted to use these. It was in a marketing campaign. We don't have the time to go into details, but just know it's a marketing campaign. Here's the thing I discovered. Here's what Emily says, that makes me hyperventilate, right? I tell another story in my book too about where the Got Milk campaign came from. Here's the lesson, the very important lesson I want you to take out of this. The challenge that we have, the reason people don't listen to us, is because we have an idea, we have a solution, we have an innovation, and we jump to the possibility, what that innovation, that idea is going to do for us, what it's going to solve, the revenue it's going to create, the new markets it's going to capture, the new process it's going to streamline. But we missed a step. What I've discovered in my time, and what I think the sticky note just very simply and kind of in a funny way actually relates to, is people need to feel the pain in order to see the possibilities. Let me say that again, because it is so important in getting buy-in and getting listened to. People need to feel the pain in order to see the possibilities. Let me give you an example of what I mean. I've told you in the beginning that I've gotten up and presented, new product ideas time and time again in my lifetime, in my work. And I can't tell you the number of times they just got kind of met with a meh, even though I knew this was the direction to go. I can't tell you the number of times someone has presented to me a brilliant opportunity or a way to solve something, and I've gone, because I just didn't see it. So here's what I've learned to do. I've learned to take time to steep the people on the other side of the table in the actual pain. What is the pain of the challenge we're trying to solve? And I don't mean just an Excel spreadsheet chart, excuse me. I mean, truly, what is the pain of what we're trying to solve? What is the impact of that chart going down on you, on me, on the people in the room? What happens if, I take that thing away and you suddenly don't have, and you actually physically feel the pain of not having your sticky notes? We have this mistake of jumping so quickly to solution and all the benefits of that solution. And the person on the other side hasn't been thinking about the pain. They haven't been steeped in it. They're not feeling it enough. And so when we jump over the pain and get to solution, we're missing a major step in communicating and in getting buy-in and getting listened to for our ideas. Now, you all know I'm a super optimistic, positive, everything's possible person. And it really is hard for me to not leap. I think we all want to leap because we know the possibilities. But if we don't take a step back and steep people in the pain, they're not going to see the possibilities. Why? What is the pain that the people on the other side of the table from you experience because of the challenge you're solving, because of not doing the innovative idea? It feels awkward to talk about pain, right? We want to jump, but people need to feel the pain in order to see the possibilities. We go back to my sticky note thing. When I first presented my marketing idea with these sticky notes for clients, it was kind of like an annual thing I wanted to do. Nobody thought sticky notes were worthy of doing it. They're like, nobody likes sticky notes that much. It doesn't matter. But oh my gosh, when they felt the pain of not having their sticky notes, they suddenly realized why the idea I was trying to push forward actually worked. When I presented ideas to people of new products for their company or why they should jump the curve, which I talk about all over the place, you can find it in different bursts. When I talk about why you should jump the curve, telling them a cliff is coming is not good enough. But when I start to lay out the pain and the impact, well, that means fewer customers. That means your customers are going elsewhere. That means that your dollars go down. That means you're going to be laying off people. That means you're going to be working doubly hard for less money. That means you're going to be working longer hours. When I start there and then get to why we need to jump, people are on board. Now, I know if you're here, you're probably an optimistic person. Like, yeah, I get the solutions tomorrow. The people that you have in your work, in your community, they're not doing this all day like you. So remember, they need to feel the pain to see the possibilities. All right. Hopefully that resonates. I hope, tell me in the chat bar, I love a little feedback here. So, Brian just said very powerful words and deep thoughts today. Oh, thanks, Brian. I'm glad to hear that. It's a small but powerful shift in the way we have to think about things. And again, I say this over and over again to you. Remember that people on the other side of the table are not as steeped in your work as you are. They'll never have your perspective. So you got to help bring them along. Okay. All right. Our time is up. I can't believe it. But here's the thing I want you to think about before we get off is check out that link at the top of the chat bar for the tribe. It's actually closed right now. It's a wait list. But if you're that type of person that really wants to lead innovation strong, wants to have that influence and that command of innovation every single day, that's the place to do it. Those of you who are in the tribe know it kicks butt. So I want to see you there. We have so much going on there, these live innovation workshops. We've got these bursts of innovation coming. We've got live Q&As. It's the place for the tools, the community, and the support. So I know I'm going to sound like a broken record on this, but go get there. So let me see what other resonates. Thank you. Good. Love the thoughts. Really makes me think about what has and has not worked. Yeah, Dennis, sometimes why it's not working is just because we're jumping too soon to solution. Christy says, yes, thanks. I struggle with this. Yeah, me too, right? I have to really remind myself because I'm like, all the possibilities, right? All right, Paul says, I like the idea of taking a step back. Connie says, I'm inspired with my stress relief in a box. Yeah, Connie, you have a great opportunity to really steep people in the pain so that they see why your stress relief in a box is really a possibility for them, right? Is really an opportunity. But we can't assume that people get it, right? And we can't be subtle about it. Here's the thing. We get a little bit wrapped up in like, well, I don't want to offend someone. I don't want to, like make them feel bad. The pain is real. They have it. We all have it in some way for whatever we're dealing with. So we got to just give them the room to feel it so that they can connect to the possibility. So, right, Sarah, especially with COVID. Yeah, right. People are struggling, and we need to give them the space to struggle. And again, we can't assume they understand the connection between the pain and the possibility. So we got to help them make that link. It's true across all work that we do. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you Wednesday. We're going to do part 2, which is why your presentation and your stock photos are not cutting it. I got a different way for you to present your ideas. We'll talk then. Ooh. Why can't I find the end button? Why does this always happen to me? I feel like I'm always in this awkward moment at the end. All right, thanks everyone.